All right. Good Friday morning, everybody. How's everyone doing? How's breakfast going? Looks like many of you are just getting into it. Looks good, man. That's awesome. Well, today is Friday, July 7th, 2023. This morning I have up here with me Mr. John Harden. Here's Johnny.
Good morning.
Was that right there, man?
Was that a planned, like, did they dare you to do that, or was that just?
Well, I've been asked to do it a few times. I'm not going to say by who.
Right.
But,
I have an
I can
idea.
do a better one down the road on you.
I look forward to
Do you
it.
remember that show, by the way?
I
You're
do.
a little bit younger than me.
I
but-
do remember it, though. I do remember it.
Oh, yeah, the Tonight Show. You couldn't get much better than that. So look, you got old Bill back there smiling, so that's good. So anyway, this morning, this is your Friday morning meeting. If you all have questions, make sure you ask. I'm glad everybody could be here. All those out on the road, listening on YouTube or watching on YouTube or Facebook or LinkedIn or whatever it may be, welcome. I appreciate all the drivers out there hauling the freight for us, doing it safely, picking it up on time, delivering on time. And our safety numbers are reflecting that. The last couple of weeks, we've done very well on the accident front. So thank you, and let's continue that trend because that's great. That's what this is about, is being safe. So, but I tell you, we've got some terminals involved in this too as well. So let's head out west. Let's go out to Salt Lake City. Do we have Mr. Aaron Ward with us?
Good morning. Yes, we are here today.
All right, good to have you, Aaron. What's going on in Salt Lake?
We've had a good week. It was a short week due to the holiday. Orientation started on Wednesday this week, but we're getting them all cleared out and ready to train. I do have a member of the SPA staff that wanted to talk for just a second, so I'll hand the mic over to her.
Sure, sounds good.
Hello, my name is Megan. So just want to let everybody know that we do have a massage therapist at the Salt Lake location. So please stop by. And just a huge thank you to all you truckers for all that you do. And who knows what we would do without you guys doing what you do. And shout out to the women truckers as well. Glad you guys are doing this job as well. We do have a stylist as well, and there are many health benefits from massage. It can help with stress, anxiety, depression, fibromyalgia, headaches, migraines, blood pressure, a lot of things. So there are many benefits. So please come and get relaxed and rejuvenated and keep me busy. So spread the word.
All right, what are your hours of operation out there, Aaron? Can you discuss that real quick? What days of the week you guys are open and the hours?
What are your spa hours? What are your hours? 9 to 7, Monday through Friday on the spa.
All right, good deal.
She's got one more thing.
Sorry, I forgot. So we take credit, debit, cash, points, but we can't charge anything to the trucks, just so you guys know. I don't know why, but we can't. So.
And just to let everyone know, we have in this amenities building basically everything you're going to find in Missouri: gym, weight room, spa, cafeteria, which we're in now. So anything that you find in Missouri or our other terminals, you're going to find out here in Salt Lake. So please utilize those.
All right, Aaron, anything else going on out there? How's the orientation class this week?
Really good. Yeah, like I said, we started on Wednesday. Clearing everybody out today, should be done by this afternoon, and get them out training. And then we had an AC that came through this week too, and get him in a truck and get him out hauling some freight.
Well, good. Looks like you got all your fingers. I don't know if you have all your toes or not because I can't see those, but that's good. Looks like you had a safe 4th of July. So it's good to see.
Sure did. Yeah. I learned a long time ago to stay away from those things that blow up.
That's right. You grew up here in Missouri, didn't you?
That's correct.
So good deal. If you have any questions, Aaron, make sure you holler at us, man. Love to get you back on. So.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, John, let's go out east. Let's see what Mr. Rick Iffert has in store for us this morning. Good morning, Pittston.
Good morning. How's everybody doing?
We are doing good. How about you?
You know, fantastic. It was a short week for us also. We started our class on Wednesday, and we had several drivers in class, D seats that came through. We're clearing those out today also, and getting them down to pad and get them working on their pre-trips and hopefully get their CDL license.
That's awesome. That's the name of the game right there. Get them out working. So, hey, you got all your fingers and toes too there, Rick?
We had a nice quiet 4th of July. We watched everybody else around us lighting off fireworks. And you were talking about Johnny Carson. Here's a fun fact for you. How many people remember the TV going off at midnight?
That's true. Yeah, you're right on, man. I remember that too as a kid. So, yeah, let's not bring up those memories, man. Makes me feel a little bit older.
Yeah, and we used to have a remote channel changer also. That was me when my father said, "Hey, change the channel."
I remember that myself. I remember we had cable TV, the first cable TV we had back in the 70s. You had to get up off your couch and go turn the numbers and get to the right numbers. So there's no remote or anything like that. So yeah, those were the days, no doubt. So anything else you need to add there, Rick?
You know, I just if you're in the Piston terminal, just be careful driving around into the parking lot. We still have a lot of trailers on the yard. We're trying to get them off as quick as possible. Just be careful moving around. And again, like I said last week, if you need help, we do have a shagger that will move trailers around for you if you need to. Just be careful.
Good deal. Good words of advice right there. So thank you, Rick. If you have any questions, make sure you holler at us, man. Love to get you on the mic too.
Hey, we appreciate you. Thank you, guys.
All right. Appreciate you too. Back here in Springfield. Good morning, everyone. Okay. That's about 30% usually, but
They're still eating, you know.
that's true. So speaking of eating, let's give a big round of applause this morning to our cafeteria staff, all 3 locations. They do a wonderful job, and you don't get much better food than this place, I'd say. So, and especially for the price, it's still pretty reasonable compared to you go out to eat at Village Inn or a truck stop or something. You pay a lot more money, but yeah, John Blancett and his staff, they do a wonderful job here. So big rounds of kudos to them. And just want to say too, welcome to all our new folks. I know we don't have a whole lot of new people, but if this week's your first week of orientation here in Springfield, Salt Lake, Pittston, if you could please stand, we'd love to give you a round of applause. It's like we have more new people out at our terminals than we do here probably.
I guess we're some
Yeah.
bashful folks here. One of the two.
There you go. So what do you got for us this morning, Johnny?
So I'm going to talk a little bit about our inspections this week. I think this was planned. We had 181 inspections this week, which is really high. So, but
I'm glad you got to do them this week, not me.
you want the good news or the not good news?
Good news is
Good.
we had a good percentage rate.
We did. We were at 71% clean inspection rate out of 181 inspections. So a lot of people got paid this week. So give yourselves a round of applause for that. So now the other end of the spectrum here that we're going to talk a little bit about, we had a few violations that we wanted to bring to everyone's attention. You know, and a couple of these are just no brainers. They shouldn't happen. And we want everyone to be aware to work on these. You know, our number one kind of stood out to us. We had 4 handheld device citations, and these are extremely dangerous. You know, if you know, hopefully you don't know, but if you get a cell phone violation, you know, we're going to bring you in, we're going to sit down and talk with you. And if there's a second one, it's going to be a safety DQ. So folks, this isn't worth it. This is extremely dangerous. Video, it's very powerful. So please don't be distracted while you're driving. You know, anything handheld device, put it in the bunk, put it out of reach. Don't let it be a distraction to you. A couple of others I wanted to bring up. We had 3 seatbelt violations. You know, this is another one we feel like we shouldn't get any ever. So whenever you're out there operating your tractor, make sure you're wearing your seatbelt. I mean, it's for your safety. And, you know, this goes towards our unsafe driving CSA points as well, which we are trying to get down and reduce. So this doesn't help our cause at all. So, whenever you're out there, make sure you're clicking that seat belt. And then we had 3 bypass scale citations, point of entries, scale houses, 3 of those. So, we always want to work on them. If you have any questions about any of them, come see us after the meeting, or we can, if you have questions about DriveWise, we can direct you to the right folks. But, those are the 3 that I wanted to bring up and point out to everybody. And let's just work on those. Let's not have any more of those moving forward. I think those are pretty easily resolved right there. So
That's some good points there. And one thing I just wanted to chime in real quick is being prepared for an inspection. So make sure you're ready to go. Make sure you know where your permit book is and you have all your insurance card, registration. You understand it. If you don't understand your permit book, you're relatively new here, get with the permits department. They'll go over it with you, where everything's at. Emergency response book, if you're hauling hazmat, that'll be in there too as well. Every book should have one of those. But just being prepared, know your card is for explaining your ELD system to the officer, just being on top of your game. And really, if you get pulled in and they want to inspect you, you got to get all that information out. So just be ready when they come out to your truck. Here it is, officer. They want you to pull it out of your permit book, take it out. They just want your permit book, hand them the permit book. But, once that inspection starts, the officer's in control and just do what they say. And if you don't understand something, or they say, hey, you got a violation back here, you got a maintenance violation, so really, can you show it to me? Just ask them to show it to you. Yeah, they should do that. They should just, because once again, they're on the side of safety too as well. If there's something you don't know or you don't understand, they should be able to explain it to you. So, but that's our biggest, right there, being prepared and making sure your truck's prepared, it looks good. And that just all runs together, just makes you have a better success rate at passing that inspection.
absolutely. And adding on to that, make sure you're familiar with your Prime app. So we'll kind of get this housekeeping out of the way right now. If you have questions about your Prime app, we'll probably reference it a little bit more here in the meeting, but Richard and Brianne here are the experts. Dave and I are kind of 101 level. We can kind of get you to where you need to be to show permits, things like that. But real questions go to these 2 over here. So take advantage while you're here. If you're at another terminal or out there on the road, feel free to send us a comment in here through social media or give us a call and we'll make sure to get it answered for you. So next thing, let's talk about the CVSA operation, the Safe Driver Week coming up July 9th through July 15th. We talked about this last week. And what are some of the things they're going to be out there looking for?
Well, just the time enforcement gets out there and they look at how vehicles interact with commercial vehicles. So maybe motorcycles, maybe cars, but they're keeping an eye on it. It's kind of, I feel this is a good program for our trucking industry because they're actually looking at cars. How do they change lanes? What are they doing around trucks? And they pay a little bit more closer attention to those situations like that because we know we're the professionals. Our drivers are the professionals out there with the CDL, and you know how to drive your truck and do it safely. But a lot of car drivers don't. And you see many of them. They may be texting, they may be on their cell phone, maybe reading a book, maybe putting on makeup, eating, whatever it may be. And none of us want them getting tangled up with you in an accident. So this is the enforcement side of it, getting out there and promoting safe driving around trucks. And this is their week. So hopefully it'll help us out, keep us out of accidents too as well, but make our roads safer, and that's what it's all about.
All right, good deal. So let me show of hands here. Who in here has never been involved in a little fender bender accident or anything like that out on the road? Okay, so we've got a few here. So, one of the questions that we get whenever we answer a call that comes in, maybe there's a little fender bender in the parking lot, but a lot of times we hear, hey, is there anything I left out? I don't know what I'm doing. I've never had an accident. Or, it's a stressful time. Could be an emotional time, so you're not thinking clearly. So, we just kind of wanted to go over the process. If you're ever involved in the unfortunate event of being in any sort of accident at all, no matter how minor, the most important thing, one, make sure you're safe. Make sure if there's anybody else involved, make sure they're safe. Don't put yourself in harm's way, getting out, exchanging information. That's first and foremost. Your safety is always number 1 here. But 2, always make sure that you give safety a call and make sure you report it and let us walk you through everything, because the last thing we want to happen is, forget something. And we have this happen. We'll get called out an accident and we'll ask a question and we'll get a response like, oh, well, it was an hour ago, I've already left there. And there may be some very important information, you know, for your protection, for Prime's protection that we needed to get that we're unable to get at that time. So no matter what, even if somebody accuses you of doing something that you didn't do, just make sure you give us a call because we're here to protect you. But, you know, some of the most important things, you always want to take photographs. You know, the more photographs, the better. Exchange information, insurance information. If the police are involved, make sure you get the police report number, officer's name, the jurisdiction that they're with, you know, sheriff, state trooper, anything like that. And once we get all that information, you know, we'll take over from there. But we just want to protect you guys, make sure that nothing's missed. So you have anything you want to add to that, Dave?
Yeah, just a reminder too, you know, don't wait. If somebody hits your truck or you do damage to somebody else's vehicle, get out there and kind of get on the offensive and obtain their information. Just don't sit in your truck and wait for police. We talked to a number of drivers go, well, I'm just waiting for the police to show up and they'll get that information. Yeah, if the police do arrive, and it depends on the situation. If you're in a parking lot, something like that at a truck stop, chances are if nobody's hurt, it's minor damage, the police aren't going to come. They don't ask you to exchange information with the other driver. But that being said, even out on the roadway, you know, you make a turn or somebody changes lanes and hits you, get out there, take pictures, make sure they're okay. Always ask, hey, are you okay? Are you injured at all? And then start taking pictures, start getting obtaining information. Because once the police get there, they're going to separate you. They're going to put you back in your vehicle. They're going to put the other person away from you or back in their vehicle. And they're going to get that information. Then it's going to take probably 2 to 3 to 4 weeks before we get a police report. And especially if somebody hits you and we're going after them for your damages, if we don't have any information on that, then there's not a whole lot we can do till we get that police report. So your truck will be brought in, get fixed, all that stuff, and we got charges out there, and there's nothing we can do till we get that information. So make sure, you know, kind of get on the offensive when you get out there. And I don't mean to be a jerk and be a bully or anything. What I'm talking about, just get that information, start obtaining it immediately, taking pictures. You can get a picture of their driver's license if they're willing to show that to you. That's awesome because that gives us a lot of information right there. And you don't have to write anything down. You can just take a picture of it. Same thing with their insurance information, their registration, all that, license plate, and some good photos. You don't have to take 20 or 30 pictures, but get some good pictures of their vehicle, stand back, different angles, just so we can see the damage. And the same thing with your truck. So all that just helps us and helps you too, to, you know, we can recover damages for you. That's what it's about right there, is getting that information. So.
And never pay cash.
No.
Hey, anything you're like, you know, if I give them some cash, this will go away. Prime won't know about it. It always backfires. Never do that. You know, no matter how small or insignificant you may think it is, you know, please don't do that for your own sake and your own protection financially. So.
Yeah, unfortunately, we've had those claims too, where you just scraped the mirror and all of a sudden they're filing the claim. They want a new mirror with us and we don't even know what happened. And our driver paid him $200 to fix this guy's mirror. And, you know, you're out that 200 plus you're being charged a deductible. Plus we have no pictures. It just turns into a lot of, you know, information we all lose all the way around. So yeah, just make sure you know, don't pay out cash. That's not the way to do things. So send it through our claims department. We'll do the right thing. We'll stay in touch with you. And, you know, we'll handle the claim in-house. It just works better that way and safer as well.
All right, you want to get some speakers up here? Do you think these folks want to hear us talk more?
Yeah, let's get some speakers up here. So who do we got first?
So we're going to bring up Colby and Rachel first with our driver health and fitness program. So
Colby's always the first one up. He's like shot out of a
it
king.
doesn't look like Rachel made us anything for breakfast this morning either. So
Yeah, I try to be the first one up here, but hey, good morning, everybody. I'm Colby with our Driver Health and Fitness Department. This is Rachel, our dietitian.
Good morning.
So just want to give you guys an update real quick. We talked about our Summer Stride Challenge. It's kind of the competition between in-house and drivers for walking. So it's on our website and everything. And right now, I think our drivers are just close to about 2,000 miles walked. And then in-house is significantly behind. So in-house, calling them out. I know, D, I know. So anyway, so you got drivers, you're doing a great job. Again, the same thing on that is just go to the website after you've walked mile, 2 miles, whatever you've walked, and it's one click. You click and log what you've done. It's just a fun way to kind of compete against each other, but also kind of see what you guys have done. So this is what, 2 weeks? We've done it 2 weeks or 3 weeks?
Yes, yeah.
2 weeks. We've done it in 2 weeks. So you can see drivers right now, we're walking almost 1,000 miles a week. That's pretty impressive. So you give yourself a pat on the back for that. So.
And you can get to the website by just going to driverhealthandfitness.com, or you can go on your Prime app to on-site services and then just click Driver Health and Fitness right there and it'll bring you to the website.
Yep, perfect. So again, what we do for some of you new drivers and everything, if you want to talk to somebody about fitness, whether it be exercise in a truck, out of a truck, how to work out in a gym, any kind of structures like that, you want to talk about food, diet, you have questions, Rachel's here to answer questions about that. We have trainers in all locations. So we have them in Springfield, Johanna, myself and Rachel are here. Maria's in Pittston, Matt's in Salt Lake. So we're here to help you any way we can. So
Yeah, so come see us upstairs next to the driver's lounge is where our office is.
all right, keep up the good work. Told you we're fast.
All right, thank you.
Yeah. Dave's, you want me to hang out with you?
Yeah, you can hang out. You can take over for Dave. That'll be good. So, no, folks, if you haven't taken advantage of this service upstairs, please do so. You know, their offices are right up these stairs here, right over here in the back corner. And, you know, I've been trying to be a little bit healthier. Probably haven't done my part in this challenge yet, but we still got time, so I'm going to work on that. So, Dave, who do we got next this morning?
John, sorry, man, I was back there shaking hands and making friends, so to speak. So no, up next, we got, person we haven't had up here for a number of weeks, and that's Stan Kasterke. Stan oversees our PSD program, and I think he's brought a guest with him too as well. So good morning, Stan.
Hey, Dave, how are you? Hey, John, it's good to see you this
Morning.
morning. You know, I didn't realize when I was growing up, black and white TV is what we had. I didn't realize the TVs came without a set of channel locks on them to turn the channel. Do you remember that? Ours had a set of channel locks. That's how you change the channel because the little selector switch had broken off of it. So anyway, so I wanted to have Rodney Wells. Rodney's one of our CDL examiners here in
Good morning.
Springfield come up here this morning. Rodney's been a prime for several years now. How many years now?
Almost 9.
Yeah, wow, man, it seems like 30, but no,
Thanks.
not really. So anyway, so we're going to talk a little bit about the new testing standard. They call it the modernization testing. So a lot of you have probably heard that the standard's changing, the backing maneuvers are changing a little bit. There's going to be a new carousel, which is that sea of cones that we have out on the training pad. So they're going to be changing that. In PA is going to be the first place. Those guys up there are going to class the first part of August to learn the new testing standards, and the examiners will be learning how to give the test. The pre-trip's changing a little bit. There's not going to be as many parts to check on the vehicle inspection. Versus right now, if you get a full vehicle inspection, it's about 90 points that you have to check. With the new modernized testing standard, there's going to be around 38 or 39 points. So it's going to change it. Now, some people say, well, so why are we dumbing this down? We're really not. You know, with the entry-level driver training that came into effect February 2nd of last year, there's more requirements that we have to do. If you're a CDL instructor here, you know that you have to do that proficiency report. You have to turn that in before we can actually schedule them to test. And that's not a Missouri law. That's a federal law that we have to do that part of it. So there's a, do you want to put that up there for me, Brian, please? So I know this is hard to see, but this is what the new layout is going to look like on the carousel. Now this is in Pennsylvania. Like I said, we're going to start at first in Pennsylvania. They're going to be the first online. And then Utah will probably be our second one online. And then Missouri will be the last one. From what I've heard from Missouri officials, it'll probably be the first part of December before we'll start doing the test here in Missouri on this new standard, okay? The reason I brought Rodney up here is for the hard questions. Okay, so does anybody have any questions at all about this new testing standard? Leon, you usually have some good questions. Yeah, see, I knew he was thinking about it. He was looking to see if anybody else was going to raise their hand.
I don't see anything there for an alley dock.
It's a great point. There is no alley dock.
Oh, boy.
You know, whenever we went from the manual transmission truck, the automated transmission truck, it made training somewhat easier because we didn't have to teach people how to double clutch, right? Yes, this means yes in Missouri. I can tell you, it made it a lot easier. Now then with this, we're not teaching that alley dock. But we're going to still be doing that on the road, you know. Is the alley dock really practical on the 90 degree that we teach and that we do? Not necessarily. We really want to set up to do a straight line back if we can at all. Or do a 45 at the most. So do you want to kind of talk about what you know as far as the testing standards?
As far as the backing, or do you
Yeah,
have questions, Leon, for backing, how they're changing, or do you just the alley, or? Right,
You've got a single.
there's,
You got a single box instead of three boxes. It's a pretty radical change from what we've been dealing with for quite a number of years.
yeah, it's a bit different, yeah. There's a pull through, you start at the back, you're out of the back of the box, you pull up, you put your deer guard or your front bumper in the front box there. Set your brakes down your horn, you have 15 minutes to do that, right? The second maneuver is then the straight line backing. So you pull out and then you back all the way through. And then the third maneuver is basically a forward offset where you line up a trailer tire with a yellow line or a red line that's on the ground. And then the fourth maneuver is an offset, essentially, or a parallel. That's really what it is.
One more question. It used to be we could ask questions about what was expected on the test. And then recently it was mum's the word as far as that was concerned. Is that still the status quo on that?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. We're supposed to keep that close to the chest, if you will, and not relieve any of that information.
But, you know, in our training process and what we teach our instructors to teach the trainees, we're going through those maneuvers and we're talking about, you know, best practice. Probably the one thing that I want to reemphasize, whether you're in Missouri, Utah, Pennsylvania, if you're an instructor and you're struggling or your student's struggling and maybe you're kind of at your wit's end, you've explained it every way that you can think to explain it, be sure and get with one of the, some of the training staff. Let us help you, help them. I do want to make another plea for instructors and trainers. We need more instructors and trainers. You know, in Utah right now, we've struggled out there getting enough OTR drivers involved in that. To be a PSD instructor, you have to have at least 2 years of commercial driving experience. Okay, so then that's the PSD, that's the pre-CDL side, people who have a permit. For those of you who have at least 6 months of experience here at Prime, you're eligible to become a TNT trainer. So if you do the TNT part of it, you get comfortable with that. Then when you hit your 2 years here at Prime, then you can become a PSD instructor. So I appreciate everything that you all do. If you have any questions, we'll hang around over here for after class. If you're in Utah or Pennsylvania, Aaron Ward out in Utah, he can answer some of your questions on this. And then we've got Blake Meredith up in Pennsylvania, that if you have any questions at those off-site locations, you can get with those folks and they can sure help you out, okay? Thank you for all you do and have a great day. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right, Stan brings up a good point, needing more trainers, but you know, John, we need good trainers and doing it for the right reasons. And, you know, we all somehow obtained a CDL. I remember back in 1995 when I got mine, my trainer was the guy by the name of Dennis, and he had a heart of gold, man. He put up with me. I had so many troubles backing up in the dock, and I was just always thinking in the driver's seat, I was thinking how mad he has to be getting, but yet at the end of the day, he's like, no, man, you're doing fine. Just take your time. And he'd give me pointers and this and that. And it takes a certain type of an individual to be able to be an effective trainer. And Dennis is one of those. But one thing I remembered, Dennis would train a couple people in a row, and then he'd take about a month off to go out by himself. And I think it was just to get himself back to normal again, you know, get his brain back and you know, and be relaxed, and then come back and he'd do it again, another couple, 2 or 3 drivers. And sometimes that's the best way to do it. But there's definitely a financial incentive involved here, but you know, we need the best. There's no doubt about it. And that's what we expect. So, and hopefully all of our new folks in here and that are listening, they get a great trainer, because that's what this is about. Well, we're very proud of our training program, and it's the best in the industry. There's no doubt. Getting out there and being able to see our customers and work with enforcement and all that. And hopefully you don't come across enforcement too much, but if you do, having a trainer with you makes your life a lot easier. So.
Absolutely. If you come in here, if you came in as a student and obtained your CDL here, just think about that process and how appreciative you were of your trainer. And then once you're here and you're established as an AC and you have the opportunity to give that experience back to somebody else who's just getting into the business. So absolutely great program, and it builds great relationships and accountability and somebody to talk to out there. No matter how experienced you are or how long you've been here, there's always a question that might come up that you need a second opinion on. So
there you go. Maybe 6 months down the road as you're an AC, keeping that contact with that trainer, so important, and asking him or her questions. And they're just another resource for you, along with all of us in-house. But sometimes being out there on the road, that's a little bit better resource. It may help you out, especially dealing with certain customers. And so keep that in the back of your mind. If you want to train, that's great. You got the heart for it. Would love to have you, no doubt. So what do you got next here, Johnny?
all right, we're going to bring up Mr. Jeff Murphy. Jeff is one of our refrigerated fleet managers, and Jeff's going to talk with you a little bit about running a profitable business. And, Jeff, I have one question for you. Who's covering for you right now?
Who's covering you? I thought you were covering me. All right, so the email I got said that I was going to cover year-over-year numbers. And then if you just heard what John said, he said I'm going to cover running a profitable business, and I have to come down here and talk to the best drivers in America about how to run their business. And I just want to start with, the best way to run a business is to know what marketplace that you're in. So I want to go back in time. Who was here in 2018? How good was freight? Everybody shaking their head. It was great, wasn't it? It was awesome. By the end of 2018, I walked past Steve Wookie's desk. He had printed out all the EDIs for some reason, and he was swimming in them, doing the backstroke. They said we refused more freight than we accepted. Everything was great. It was wonderful, right? It was amazing, okay? Solo paycheck take home for the first 26 weeks of 2018 was $1,261, okay? To a team truck is $2,671. That's money in your bank account. This year, for this first 26 weeks, average $1,514. So how good you guys say that freight was in 2018? Because it was good. It was good, right, Steve? It was great. I believe that everybody was talking about unprecedented. Wasn't that the buzzword? Robust. Sound familiar? Hey, it was wonderful. We're up $250 over that as solos. Team 3201 this year, first 26 weeks. That's 600. Thank you. That's about 600, 550-ish, 5 something or other. Okay. So at a time when we thought we were on top of the world, and it only continued to grow from there, right? 19 was better. 20 was even better with COVID. 21, amazing. 22, here's the kicker. From 22, we're down. Okay. 1720 to a solo, 3662 to a team. So year over year, we're down close to 300 we're down 200 on the solos and close to 400 or 460 on the team. So we are down. But I think that's what a lot of people are looking at is just last year. All right. But I want to take you back to 2018 when this all started, when the climb started, because we're already ahead of that this year. Right. And it's been bad, right? Everybody agree on that? No? Dang, man. Yeah. I like you. Positive attitude. So, but we're in a down year. We're in a down market. Okay. So we need to get back to basics. And there's 4 things that I always say that we need to do to run a profitable business. And I'm not very smart, ladies and gentlemen. I didn't come up with this. I had to search for a very long time and find somebody that I knew that runs a trucking business, maybe Robert, and see, what does he say? What should we be doing? Okay. First and foremost is we need to pick up and deliver on time safely. All right. Because here's the deal. Average revenue per day for a solo is going to be about $700. To a team, it's going to be 1,000 and a little up, right? That's going to be your average revenue per day. If you deliver late and you push a day, you lose that revenue for the next day. Okay, so you're already losing money. You're already negatively impacting your profitable business. All right. If you get in an accident, obviously the lowest deductible you're going to have is $500, right? And you could have how much? How much total? More. Truck, trailer, cargo, other people's property, right? So you can lose a lot more for an accident. So pick up and deliver on time safely. That's number one. Number two is take care of your fuel. It's your biggest cost over the road. Take care of your fuel, all right? You know, high miles per gallon, low net fuel cost. Why am I squeaking? Is it because I'm too loud? Okay. All right. Sorry, guys. You know, next is you need to manage your home time to what you can afford. All right. You really do. You know, in 2022, you can take a lot of time off. You come back out and you bounce right back, right? That first week back out, you spend 2 weeks at home, you're out a week. You can realistically, you can come out of the hole, right? We can't do that anymore. The revenue doesn't cover it. We need to go back to 2018 rules and cover our home time with an E-fund or what you can afford. All right. You know, last is be available. Okay. Be available to work. And that means, you know, we built some, I'm going to call them bad habits because we didn't know any better. In 2018, 19, 20, 21, you know, we kept having record year after record year. And that allowed us to create these bad habits, not for just drivers. Sales was giving loads back to customers. We can't cover it. Fleet managers were saying, nah, my guy doesn't want that load before you ever saw it. You were saying to the fleet manager, nope, don't want to do it because I don't like to go here, here, or here, right? And I'm saying you, maybe not all of you, but that's, we could pick and choose what we wanted to do because there was always a next offer. Okay, we're not in 2022 anymore. So the advice here is take every load you can get your hands on. Take everything. It's going to line you up to get a backhaul, to get something better, right? Okay, you're going to take a, you know, if you take $2.50 or $3 a mile into Florida, what are we taking out? Which 70? I mean, yeah, some of them, you know, that's going to be what it is. But once you get back out, what are you going to get? It takes, you know, and I did coin this one. I'm not going to give Robert credit for this one or Steve. It takes 7 days to make a week, takes 4 weeks to make a month, and it takes 12 of those to make a year. Okay, nothing about one load, right? All right, any questions? That's pretty much all I got. Nothing. Wow.
No questions. No questions from the other terminals or? Oh, here we go.
Hey, Jeff, thank you for that. That's a great presentation. Tell me, if you would, what's your expectation of your driver business partners? What do you expect from them as far as a relationship is concerned?
Easy one-word answer is trust. Okay, that I'm going to do, you may have heard this, do what's right, you know, do my best, do what's right, treat you like I want to be treated. But trust overall is the number one thing that I'm going to do what I say I'm doing, and that we are offering the best thing that we can for that day. And, you know, maybe it's not the best thing to look at, but it's the best thing that day. So as long as you're trusting your fleet manager with that, it should be fine. And, you know, I trust them to do what's right over the road.
All right. Any questions from Pittston or Salt Lake City? Jeff, how long have you been here at Prime?
We're on year 14 now, I believe.
14. Congratulations.
14.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Well, if nobody has any more questions for Jeff, we appreciate it.
Yeah. Always good information there from our operations department. So
It is. It's good to hear from fleet managers. So, you know, and Jeff hit the nail on the head with talking about trust, because there's nothing, you know, if Jeff tells his drivers something, you know, it's going to be reflected at the end of the week on their settlement. So if he's not telling the truth, they'll know about it. But let's get somebody else's perspective on this. Let's go to the sales side and bring up Todd Davis here this morning.
Good morning. I will apologize to begin with. I didn't know I was coming down until about 25 minutes ago, so I'm not overly prepared, but you know, Jeff brought up a lot of good points. First and foremost on the sales side is the service aspect. Cannot preach that enough. That is what's going to help us get through this tough time. So, you know, part of service is the trailers as well. It's a huge thing that's going on right now with trailers, just making sure that we have enough equipment where we need to. It's going to allow us to score some extra freight. Make sure that you're arriving at the shippers free of damage, working trailer. If you're going to a live load, make sure you're pre-cooling those trailers. You know, Jeff talked about it, time as well. You know, if you're delayed, you miss an appointment, you're pushing to the next day. It's the same can apply with the trailer. You're gonna miss, 2 to 4 hours if you're not pre-cooling your trailer. So make sure it's operating, ready to go whenever you get to the shippers. Service, the impact on freight, deliver on time. That builds that trust, that same trust that Jeff was talking about that you guys have in your fleet manager. On the sales side, we have to have that with our customers as well. And the best way to get that, or the best way to obtain that trust, is to make sure that we're taking care of their freight. There is some positive signs on the freight network. We've had some good positive signs with the awards. Smithfield in particular, in my particular area, actually, we're seeing averaging about 300 loads a week right now, but with the new award, I should be close to about 500 loads a week just with one customer. So take care of their freight, they take care of us. And I believe Stan and maybe Jeff as well talked about building the trainers and the teams. That's going to be another service offering that we really need out there in the freight network. I think it's going to give us an advantage moving through into the end of the year. So that's all I really have this morning.
All right, does anybody have any questions for Todd? If not, I do. All right, so Todd here runs our meat patch as a sales coordinator, and I used to be a fleet manager. So, if I dispatch a load on a driver, and it's got a drop dead time for tomorrow night or something, meat load, and I want to do a little sightseeing today, why is it so important to go ahead and get that trailer over there quickly if we have hours to do so?
My particular area, the meat patch, they take these trailers and they could be anywhere from, 1 day to sometimes 3 and 4 days to load. They're going to pull it to a door, swing. It just kind of depends on the kill cycles. So I need those trailers there, as soon as possible, just to make sure that we have what they need and then possibly score that extra load.
Okay, so that might help if another carrier maybe doesn't have trailers in there and we do,
Absolutely.
that might
Happens every
benefit
day.
us.
Every day.
Perfect. So, I had that question a lot, as a fleet manager, especially early on, but it is beneficial. So, we've got a sales guy up here. If anybody has any questions, feel free to ask. Now's your chance. Nothing at all. You're getting off easy this morning. So
I like
we
that.
appreciate you being here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Great perspective from a different angle. So yeah, no doubt our salespeople are great and work great with our customers and do a wonderful job. So I think sometimes, Johnny, too, we forget doing the small things right, and that can make a big difference. So you got a trailer that's dirty, make sure you clean it out before dropping it to a customer. Areas like that should be every day, no doubt, no questions asked, but sometimes we do forget. But let's get up in there and take care of those trailers. I've got light burnout or something damaged, I get with Road Assist before taking it into the customer and get that fixed. So everything's ready to roll when that customer gets a trailer. So
real quick, this isn't really on the script, but we've got a couple of minutes here. So let's talk about GEDC coming up. And, we've had that question come up. How can I participate? Do I have to be here for a certain amount of time to participate? We get new viewers every week out there, new drivers coming in. So give us a little information about that.
we do. We got truck driving championships coming up on Labor Day weekend. It'll be the Friday before Labor Day. Our company picnic will be on Saturday here in Springfield, and love to have everybody attend and be out here on our training pad. We start at 5 o'clock on Friday. Sign up and come on out and enjoy yourselves. And it's a family event here for that picnic, and so many drivers will bring their families, or other families come in and kids, and they got water slides and all kinds of neat stuff. Plus bingo, you can win some great prizes at bingo. And I know Connie Stacy's padding up all the kids' toys and all the free giveaways and stuff that you have on the bingo side. So it'll be a good time, no doubt. And we always have fun with our company picnic, but kicks off with the truck driving championships and Pride and Polish too as well, John. So, if you like to polish up your truck, make it look nice, you can win some cash prizes on that. And then also participate in the TDC. We'd love to have you. The more drivers we have, the better we get, no doubt. And having that competition makes our drivers better out there. So we've got a couple guys going to nationals the 3rd week in August, representing the state of Utah of all things. So Roy Romo and Anthony Eck will be going out there. They won 1st place in the state of Utah this year. And be going to the National Truck Driving Championships, which is presented by the American Trucking Association out in Columbus, Ohio. So they'll be representing Prime and the truckload sector, which I love so much because out of Nationals, you get a lot of your LTL carriers and all this. But I don't think this year you may not have UPS in there, but we'll see what happens. Who knows if they go on strike or not. But that being said, man, it's gonna be fun. It's fun competition for them, and they're representing our company, and they do a wonderful job, both those two, and it'll be fun to watch them out there. So, yeah, lots coming up here this summer, and looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's a great deal. Come out. And again, if you've never participated or competed in it, I've heard a little bit, all the same people always compete. Well, there's a lot of folks that compete, and there's a reason why you see some of the same folks every year representing Prime. I mean, they're really good at it. So, if you think you can challenge them, come on out, sign up. We'd love to have you. We're out there working, out there, John and his crew do a nice meal out there. So it's a great time.
Yeah, and we got music and a video board going on as well. Clayton Brown brings that in, our marketing guy, and he does a wonderful job helping us get this all planned out. And love to have new people on our truck driving championship team, and that's how you make it. If you get in the top 15, you can represent Missouri, and if we do Utah next year, you can represent Utah as well. So we'll see what happens as far as that goes. But definitely Missouri, and this year, John, I think we had 4 or 5 new ones on our TDC team here in Missouri, and I love having new drivers because they get that eyeful down here in Branson, and it's they want to come back and do it again. And I know they'll be back competing, but the more drivers we have, to make tougher competition, and the better driver we get going to state, and hopefully we get another couple going to nationals next year as well. So it's a great competition, and that's what it's about, making you all better out there on the roadway. And those of you that haven't done a truck driving championship, it's about how close you get. We'll set up 6 problems out here on our training pad, and we'll have judges on each problem. It's about how close you can get to that problem. Usually during the workday, we're always telling you, stay away from curbs, stay away from cars, stay away from boundaries. Well, this competition, we want to see how close you can get. So it really judges your skill as a driver. And
One day only.
Just one day only. Yeah, you get a break on this day. So, but yeah, get on out there, and you get scored off of it. The closer you get, the more points you get. And if you hit it, that's okay. It's not the end of the world. Or if you're too far away, hey, you're out there trying. You're giving it your best shot. You're a winner just for being involved in it, and that's what it's about. So, anything else that we forget?
I don't. Do a little housekeeping here real quick. We mentioned the Prime app earlier. Richard and Brianne here are the experts. So if you have any questions about the Prime app, if you're out at another terminal, if you're out there on the road listening in, please call or send in a message through social media. They'd be happy to answer that.
Also, too, John, let's not forget, if you have any topics you want us to talk about, sales, operations, safety, training, maintenance, hey, make sure you send those in to us. Let us know. Hey, I'd like to see this. I'd like to see that. We'll get a speaker up here. We'll talk about it. And if there's questions on it, we'll try to answer them too as well. So love to hear you on that, your input.
Absolutely. Send us a message through the Qualcomm to safety or email us, give us a call. That'd be great. So, the next thing we're going to talk about, if you notice, we've got red on. See a lot of red here throughout the room with our vendors and over here. So every week we like to honor those that have served in our military. Red stands for Remember Everyone Deployed. And we feel like that's very important and something we don't want to lose sight of. So if you've served in our armed forces in any capacity, please stand up and be recognized, and let us thank you for your services. We have a lot. That's awesome.
We do, yes.
Real awesome.
That's great.
Mr. Murphy that was down here, I think he's left, but he was also served in our military, so we greatly appreciate that. So, we got time. I think we're going to bring up our big speakers because we've been cutting them real short the last couple of weeks, and
they got a few minutes to talk today. No
makes
doubt.
me nervous when we do that. So let's bring up Mr. Steve Wuttke here.
Hey, thanks, John. Appreciate you guys. Thanks, David. So, my name's Steve Wuttke. I'm in sales, and we need more of it, obviously, because it's a tough time out there right now. I think Jeff Murphy did a really good job kind of setting up the stage from over the past several years. And this business, like many, is very cyclical. And as the cycles make it a little bit tougher, we got to all work on the cost side. So you kind of got to look at your business, and you got to figure out how to carve out a few pennies along the way. I can tell you probably the very best and quickest way to improve your earnings is just get better fuel mileage. Man, that's your biggest cost item. And if you can get another half mile a gallon, another mile per gallon, it'll make a terrific difference in your earnings on a weekly basis. So please think of that. You know, our sales guy, Todd Davis, he's really wired with our customers. He has done a terrific job, as all of our sales coordinators have done, in a tough environment. But you know the differentiator, I hope. It is what you all do every day. It is the service that you give us to sell to our customers. With the service level you give us, we don't have to match the lowest price. And I can tell you there's a terrific difference between low price and low cost. And that's what we sell to our customers, is low cost. We don't need to match on the 90 cent a mile stuff. We get a pass on a lot of that just because of what you all do. So this is a safety meeting. Safety is our highest calling. You don't ever want to forget that. So it's tough to make a good living in this business if you're crashing all the time. And you're not going to get a lot of options and a lot of opportunities if you're doing that. So please continue to operate safely. We're concerned about your health and your wellness. And, you know, I think we have this challenge on miles weekly that we're walking. And I got information that our operators are walking nearly 1,000 miles a week. Now that's pretty good. I'd say that's good. They didn't put my miles in, but that'd add another 4 or 5 anyway. So please continue to work on your health and wellness. It's really important. We know that a healthy driver is a safer driver, and that's for all of you. So please take care of yourselves. I'm going to ask one of our operators to come up here. Steve, could you come up here for a moment, please? I just met this guy this morning. This is not rehearsed. Stephen, there you go. Put that microphone up here where everybody can hear you.
How y'all doing?
Yeah, there you go. See, he's got a voice. So you tell these people, how did we get you, where you're from, and what are you currently doing?
Before I came here, I worked for Michelin Tire. Lost my dad to COVID and ran into one of my cousins who was working here, and he was one of the people in my family that was able to help pay for the funeral. And I was like, wow, that's pretty good. What are you doing? And we went over all this, and over the months we talked, and I found out, well, man, he's making some good money at Prime. And I started thinking, well, I'm kind of getting closer to being able to retire, and maybe if I could double my income, I can get there a little quicker. So that's what drew me to Prime.
Okay, so did you have driving experience or?
No. Prior to this, like I said, 12 years building tires. And then before that, I worked for myself doing contract work, building decks and patios and stuff like that.
So did you go through our training program?
Yeah, I had Sean Fitzgerald for PSD, and my cousin was Zachary Hamilton, who he was my TNT trainer.
Well, that's awesome. So who's your fleet manager now, Stephen?
B. Jonathan Grice.
And what do you think about your fleet manager, Jonathan Grice?
I know his picture from a profile of this way, because when I come see him and talk to him, he's just so on that computer, keeping people running. But I've had a few conversations with him. I've told him kind of like where I'd like to be, and he sends the load, I deliver it. And every week it's been a good week for me. Every week.
So you just take the freight he tenders you, and you load it, and you run it, and you get it off, and you do it again.
Yeah, usually if and maybe I shouldn't do this, but I've gotten in a bad habit. I don't look at the revenue for it no more. I just try to look at the time and see if I need to get a nap in or if I need to hit the road, and we go. And every week, like I said, I talked to Jonathan. He told me if I follow his plan that he would keep me in the money, and so every week he's done it.
You all that are out here, what did Jeffrey say was the most important part, right? Trust. So clearly, Steve, you trust Jonathan.
Yeah,
he tenders you a load and you take it.
Yeah, even the guys that have been filling in so far have been good, because y'all probably know he's on vacation. I tried to come harass him yesterday, but
yeah, we let people have a day or two off a year. So maybe
he's had his too, so y'all need to get him back in here.
Well, Steve, we're really happy to have you on our team. Appreciate all you do for our customers and for our company. So thank you, and it's a pleasure meeting you.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for joining us. Appreciate it. Okay, so I'm going to bring up the true star of our company, the guy that started it. And so think about all the hard questions you can and just quiz him, because he may not have the answer, but he'll find somebody that'll give you the answer. Because he's done a pretty good job surrounding himself with good people. And you met him up here today in sales and operations and safety and health and wellness. So here you go, Captain. The show's yours, man. Uh-oh.
Thanks, Steve. I was just about choked up because I know if my wife heard that about me being the star of the show, she would differ with that opinion for sure. But anyway, good morning. Good to see you all. Appreciate you. Glad you made it in here. Hope you had a good 4th week. By virtue of you being here, you probably spent some time away from home over the holiday, and that's much appreciated because we had needed capacity and provided service to our clients, even though it's a holiday and a lot of our competitors didn't. You know, this pandemic was a real deal. And I mean, I don't have to convince somebody of that. You know, thankfully to drivers, our drivers and others, you know, you kept this country moving on your back at peril to your own health and in a bad situation. And that is much appreciated, kind of under-recognized, you know, just the drama and, you know, the turmoil that was caused by the pandemic. While we kept things moving, you know, a lot of, you know, parts were hard to get. You couldn't get trucks and trailers. And just a lot of things changed, and freight rates, because of the situation, went up. And that was a good thing because, you know, we're hanging on to most of that. But it caused a lot of folks to jump into the business that maybe, you know, weren't the strongest hands, either financially or from an operations and safety standpoint. But these folks are out there competing, and they're hauling mostly for brokers. And you know what brokers do? You know, they put in the cheapest rate in order to track the freight, and then they top it out, you know, 25%, and then the driver down here gets it. So how much is left? Not much. You know, that's not how we roll. That's not how we operate. We look for steady year-round rates. Yes, they went up during the pandemic. The marketplace changed, and we went with it. But we didn't gouge anybody. We just kept it, you know, fair and really long overdue improvement in the lifestyle, the money that could be earned, and the home time. So we've made a lot of progress. I'm kind of rambling about this pandemic, but the reason is that it's had an impact on business, had a tremendous impact on what's going on. Am I right, Steve?
Absolutely.
In the marketplace right now.
Different marketplace.
Is different. So we are adjusting to that. We're winning. We're going to grind these folks up. You know, we love competition. And if they're going to compete with us, they better lace them up, right, Steve?
Lace them up tight.
Lace them up tight, because we're going to be competing. We're going to be fighting and scrapping on the basis of service. We're going to maintain our rates. They're strong. They're stronger than some of the competitors, but those guys aren't going to last. And we're going to be here. This place was built by you all, not smoke and mirrors, but by the job you do. From a safety standpoint and a service standpoint, you know, these big box customers, we haul a lot of loads for, a lot of food products for, and they want it perfect. They don't want it early. And they don't want it late. They just want it right on time. And we're doing that and doing it very well. So I want to thank you for that. I want to thank you for your efforts, and tell you, just maintain that trust, because we're going to come out of this. Going to be kind of rough sledding, but we're seeing some changes, some positive in the marketplace. And we think those will continue to happen. It'll be slow, you know, coming out, changing direction, but it's inevitable that we're going to win. So again, I thank you for what you're doing.
Hey, Robert, excuse me, before you close up, could I bring up one other point I think Stan mentioned? But as we get onto this next cycle, we're going to need more good, experienced operators. So those of you that have been here a while, as Stan has said, we need more trainers, and we need you to think about, if you have the attitude and the desire to make a little more money, training is really important at our place. So I just want to mention that one more time.
Yeah, I met that kind trainer that, that John was talking about. Man, you know, that's the kind we need, you know, someone that will encourage their students and work with them in, you know, in a kind way. I mean, you want to be exacting as far as the standards are concerned, but that's really, really important. I'm getting a little interference. Is this somebody trying to unplug me? Say, Robert, are you talking a lot?
You know, those technology people, they run this place.
Yeah, when they get tired of listening to you, they start pulling that plug. Dang it. But anyway, it's good to see you all. Just one, you know, random thought that comes to mind from Jeff's presentation is, you know, you can't control the marketplace. The marketplace is bigger than any one individual. It's bigger than Prime. It's a marketplace. So, you know, what freight movement's doing and rates, you know, that is what it is. But what you can control, absolutely take control of it. And we talked a lot about safety, fuel efficiency, you know, all those expense items that you can control is really where your focus needs to be in these times. And we'll grind on through it. Okay, folks, appreciate you. God bless you. Please be safe.
Thanks.